guys, so this is before we start putting any decorations on, so I wanted to just show you sort of what it looks like and how we got to this stage here. So I'm just going to go in a bit closer. So we used this chicken wire, so we got this from B&Q, and we just cut it once we had it up down the side so it fit. Now a lot of people, you may have seen, have been using sort of command hooks. We got these stick-on hooks from Amazon. Now they were okay, but it was gaping in quite a lot of areas and it didn't feel very secure. So what we actually did is we put these, I think they're like cable wires, but basically they're a tiny nail and they go into the wall. Now we are going to be redecorating this space anyway with some fresh paint, so for us it doesn't matter too much. It might have been maybe the hooks we used that weren't the perfect ones, but anyway, we used some of them, so you'll kind of see them dotted around as I'm showing you. So I did one strip up this side first. Callum did it. And then we used the bits that we cut off on the side here. So you'll know I mentioned that we cut this size to size. We used those bits then at the top, so you can kind of see that's 2 strands at the top. And then we did that as its own section as well down the side. So obviously we have our mini fridge here. So I have sort of moved the mini fridge out slightly. So this bit kind of will be a little bit hidden when we do the decorations, but that's just the way it is really. So, hello Marble. So yeah, I just wanted to show you before we start putting any decorations up, how we put the mesh wire up, and this is what everything's basically going to hook onto. So I have some ornament hooks which I'll show you, and that's how we're going to put the baubles and everything on. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do everything yet. I'm kind of just going to slightly wing it and hope it works. May have to pop out for some more decoration bits, I'm not sure yet, but I will film the whole thing so you guys can see how we put it together. So I've kind of got to this point and I'm not liking how it's going. I've kind of need to figure out how I want to approach it. I've kind of started doing bits at a different time. I've had to pop out to get more decorations because I didn't think I had enough. And anyway, so I'm going to basically take all of this down and start again, but I wanted to share it with you guys because let's keep it real. Right, so I want to first of all, and probably why you're wondering why you're staring at some flowers and a gonk. So I didn't actually film the whole process of putting everything up, simply because, to be honest with you guys, I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of figured it out as I was going along, but what I thought I would do is do a bit of a reveal now for you guys so you can see what it's like. And then what I'm going to do is basically go through what I did, where everything's from, all the different processes that I did to get to basically what it looks like now. So, are you ready? Let me show you. Ta-da! So, this is what it looks like. So you can see it's kind of pink Christmas candy cane heaven. And I absolutely adore it. So what I'm going to do for you guys now is just go up a little bit closer so I can go through in more detail exactly what I did, where everything's from, how I did everything, and yeah, all that information. If I do forget anything, just comment down below and I'll do my best to get back to you, or head over to my Instagram at homeofcc. The question or the answer might already be on there, but if not, you can send me a DM on there as well. Right, let's get into it. Right, so to start with, in the back is chicken wire mesh. Now that I bought from B&Q. I will pop on the screen exactly which one I bought, and also a picture of when it was just the mesh as well. I know you guys probably saw at the beginning of this video when it was just the mesh, but just as a reminder. So all the baubles here are hooked on using ornament hooks. Now I bought a pack of 300 ornament hooks from B&M for only £1. So I bought 3 packs of them. I ended up using a pack and a half. So that might give you an idea sort of on bauble count. In total, the number of baubles I used, maybe about 300. I'm not entirely sure, probably a little bit probably about 300. But yeah, so what I did was you can kind of see I hooked the ornament hooks onto the baubles and then hooked those onto the chicken wire mesh. I also had a few bits, so you see like this one here, that is just like a flower twig, so I got that from the range last year, but I think they have them in this year, just to use to fill in some space. So I started off by hooking a bunch of the baubles, and then what I did was, once I was kind of happy with the amount of baubles there, or I wanted to see where I needed to put some more, what I did was I took this feather boa. Now, some of these are from B&M from last year, some of them are from Inspirations Wholesale, but it happened to turn out that these were pretty much the exact same feather boas that I got last year from B&M. So what I did is they have little rope strings on the end of them. I don't know if you can see that sort of bit there. So what I did is I put an ornament hook on that, hooked that on, and then when I got up to about the middle, when you have baubles there, you can kind of hook it around the baubles. But what I did is I got an ornament hook and sort of almost like pushed it through the middle of the feather boa where it was like the thick material bit, and then use the other hook to hook it onto the chicken wire mesh. And then when you get up to the end of the feather boa, again, there's another hook on it. But what I did was I just hooked that with the ornament hook and then hooked that on. If you don't have hooks at the end of them, or you're using tinsel, get the ornament hook and sort of, so if it's tinsel, hook it onto the like sort of core bit of the tinsel, and then just squeeze the ornament hook tight so that it sort of squeezes onto the tinsel itself, and then you can use the other end to hook onto the chicken wire mesh. So you see these sort of balls of tinsel here. These were basically a normal bit of tinsel that I got from B&M, and I just cut a sort of about, I don't know, I'm really bad with inches, like maybe 3 inches. Cut that off, and then what I did was on the middle of it, I just hooked it with an ornament hook, squished the end of the ornament hook together, and then hooked the other end onto the chicken wire mesh. So yeah, that's kind of how I did the main bit down here. If you're wondering, these rose gold presents are from a garden centre near me called Keydale's. I think you can get them in, I've got some similar ones at my actual main Christmas tree from Inspirations Wholesale, but I think you can get them in quite a few different places. But yeah, just in case you're wondering, the bits of ribbon that you see are from the range, so I kind of just added bits of ribbon. Again, I just sort of pushed the ornament hook through the material and then hooked it on. All the baubles are from a variety of places, so the massive ones you see here are actually from Amazon. The other ones are from a mixture of the range, B&M, Home Bargains, or Inspirations Wholesale. That's where all of the baubles are from. They're not from anywhere else, it's just those ones. The ones that you see, which are, so you've got the cupcake one, you've also got candy canes and the hats, as well as the massive lollipops. They're all from Inspiration Wholesale, as well as some of the rose gold baubles. But if you're looking for the sort of candy cane vibe, that is the place to go. They have a lot of the red ones as well if you wanted to do the red sort of feel of one. But they also had a bunch of pink ones, obviously, which is why I got those ones. I really liked them. So yeah, basically once you've hooked sort of all your baubles on, I wrap the feather boas round. So you'll see here, this is kind of like one feather boa. And then I used another one just to follow on the pattern. And then once you've got the sort of feather boas on, you can kind of see where you've got gaps. So these gonks are actually sitting gonks, but they have wire in their hats. So I bent the wire, see if I can show you. You can kind of see there. So we bent the hat over and then put some, it's actually just garden wire. So it's just like this sort of bendy wire around. Tied that on so that I could hook ornament hook to it. And then just hooked it on like that. If you find that sometimes you get baubles that say have this metal bit on but don't have the string, as you can see here, I've literally just hooked the ornament hook directly onto that metal top, as opposed to trying to faff with putting some string on it. So you can just do that as well, and that works really well. I found that with the ornament hooks, I got the pack which had like the large, medium and small in. So the larger ones are obviously better if you don't have the string, because they give you more space to put stuff up. But yeah, so I'm trying to think what else there is. So here I just used the ribbon and made a bow from it and then hooked that on. Everything here, guys, is put on with ornament hooks. If there was something that I couldn't get on, so for example these hats, basically Callum put a hole in the back of the hat and put a zip tie through. That zip tie then became the hook for me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but yeah, essentially the zip tie became the hook. So you can see up here, actually, this is probably a good example because I have forgot to cut this zip tie off. But you can see this sticky out bit here is obviously where I've got the zip tie, and that is how the lollipops are attached to the chicken wire. So it's just got a zip tie through. They're clear zip ties. I think they're just from B&Q. And yeah, you can see that there. It's actually quite good because I forgot to cut that zip tie off. You can just use, I think you can use scissors, but I just use wire cutters. Oh, which reminds me, for the chicken wire, so this was actually came out to about here, probably roughly. So Callum put it on, attached it all with command hooks and the little nail attachments, which you would have seen at the beginning of the video. He then took the wire cutters and just cut it basically to size. I'm pretty sure I went through in the beginning of this video how I did all of that, but I thought I would just pop that on just in case. Yeah, so that's kind of how we've attached everything. The candy canes, again, are attached with zip ties. So if you can't attach something with an ornament hook, or you've got something, say, like the candy cane, which that bow that you can see on it doesn't go all the way around, so it can't act as like a hook. So what I did was basically attach a zip tie around it. I don't know if I'll be able to show you. Have we got one a bit closer? No. Sorry, I was seeing if I could show you, but basically either that, or here, for example, I put a bit of ribbon, you can see that bit of ribbon at the back, around it to act as like a hook, but I ran out of ribbon, so I ended up using zip ties for the rest of it. So what I did is I just put a zip tie around, so it kind of sits under the bow, so that's why you can't see it, and it's a clear zip tie. And then what I would do is put an ornament hook through the zip tie as sort of acting as a hook, and then I would hook that onto the chicken wire mesh. Although for some of them that were a little bit more difficult to get, because you can see that this one kind of sticks out a little bit more, so it's harder to get to the chicken wire, Callum used the garden wire that I mentioned. I'll see if I can find it on B&Q and put a picture of it here and link it down below which one we used. But he then attached it to the mesh using that instead, just because we needed a bit more length. So going across the top, the hats that you see there are also from Inspirations Wholesale. These baubles, which are sort of like the bobbly ones, are from Inspiration Wholesale as well. But again, these are a mixture of the range, mainly the range, B&M, they're the sort of multi-packs I got, and then the sort of more fancier ones that you see are most likely Inspirations Wholesale. Likewise with this big lollipop and the big bow in the middle, that is also Inspirations Wholesale. The little touch of the white feathers at the top, this was sort of Callum's masterpiece. I let him deal with this middle bit because it was driving me insane. That is all from, the white feather boas were from, you can get them from B&M, but I'm pretty sure I got these ones from eBay like 2 years ago. I'll see if I can find the link. If not, you can get them from B&M, or I'm sure Inspirations Wholesale would probably have some as well. And then just going along, if you see any sort of tinsel bits, instead of wrapping tinsel, because I just didn't think it looked nice, I just, like I said, cut about 3 inches off, hook it with the ornament hooks. They're really good to use if you have a bit of a gap that's hard to get a bauble in, because sometimes you have too many baubles and it's just difficult to get one sort of hooked on. They're really good for using to cover some empty spaces, so that's why you'll see some sort of dotted around. So if I just move up, we have just some more baubles and another candy cane. The bows that are here are from Home Bargains. The gonks that you see are from the range. As I mentioned, they're sit-on gonks, but we've hooked them with the metal top. Basically, if you can get a zip tie around something or some wire around something, or you can hook onto something, you can pretty much then hook it onto the mesh. You can kind of see the mesh as I go down. It's hard to disguise absolutely every bit of it. But yeah, so this lollipop is from Inspirations Wholesale. Again, this big flower that I've got here is from the range. And then again, the big baubles here are a mixture of B&M and Amazon. I'll put the links down below. Now, these trees I got last year. I'm trying to think where they were from. I want to say they were from the range, but I'm not 100% sure, I'm afraid, guys, because they were last year. But the the star top we've got on it actually was just in one of the multi-packs from B&M, but we kind of wanted to use it, and then you put it on that Christmas tree and it actually looked quite cute, so we left it on. This sitting gonk is from B&M. So as you can see, obviously we have our mini fridge here. So this mini fridge, in case you're wondering, is from Swan. It's an absolute lifesaver. I do actually rep for them, so I have a discount code. So if you do ever want to buy anything from Swan, I'll put that on the screen now. It's just homeofcc20 and you can save 20% off there. But yeah, totally random, not to do with Christmas at all. But the reason I brought it up is because we did actually put mesh, if you can see, all the way down to the bottom, because originally what I was going to do is move the fridge out slightly, but I didn't want to move this chair because I really like it. So I ended up putting the fridge back to the wall and thought, actually, I'll just start the archway sort of from the top of the fridge there instead. At first I thought it might look a little bit bizarre because it's not going to be quite even, but actually I think it looks fine, and it saved me having to do that massive section of the mesh. So in terms of where I started with everything, I started with the bottom chunk. So I started sort of looking at that chunk, and then also the bottom chunk of here. And what I did was basically just started putting baubles galore everywhere. Once I'd sort of done that and sort of got the body together, I decided that I was going to put the main chunkier items on, like the big lollipops, the bow in the middle, and some of the candy canes, because I thought that's kind of going to shape what I do. Again, you can see at the very top here, it was really hard to put some baubles on right at the top because obviously they hang, so naturally they don't just like sit at the top. So again, I just put some feather boa there to sort of keep the sort of theme consistent, but it also helps hide any of the empty areas. So yeah, just if you have empty areas that you can't fill, feather boas if that's what you want to use, like I did, or some people use tinsel, or if you've got any sort of like stick-on flowers like I used over here from the range. So this is actually on a long stem. You can kind of see the stem there. So basically I just fed the stem all the way through the chicken wire and then let the flower sort of just sit at the top. But they're really good for hiding spaces, like with the bow that I got from Home Bargains that I mentioned. That's really good for sort of hiding some mesh as well. So I have one over here as well that I used to sort of hide that space. Again, if you can get your hands on some sort of bigger ornaments, so you've got the hat there, I've got the, sorry, I just showed my ugly finger that's bruised. I've got the gonk there, obviously the candy canes and everything. The bigger ones sort of disguise some of the space, but the one thing I think I would say is don't buy all the same sized baubles. Make sure you go for a mixture of really big ones. If you're struggling to find really big ones, like I say, I've got our ones from B&M and also Amazon. I struggle, sorry about the you can see the toilet basketball on the fridge. Do you know what, let's just leave it on there. Let's be real, we do have that on the fridge. It's fun sometimes, and the cats then chase the little basketball. So if you do see that and think, oh, you have a really pretty home, and then you've got a toilet basketball net on your fridge, yep, yes I do, that's happening. So let's just, I'll be honest with you guys, that is there. You won't see it in my Instagram shots because that fridge doesn't really get in the Instagram photos, hence why it stays there. Anyway, sidetrack. Yeah, so get a mixture of baubles. Like I say, our massive ones are from Amazon, so we've got like that massive pink one, the rose gold ones, those sort of snowy ones are from the range. That massive pink one again is from Amazon. I will link as much as possible down below. If you guys shop at B&M, you will know it's impossible to link anything because you can't actually buy on their website, but I'll do my best to find alternatives for you guys. Yeah, so get a range of them. So obviously we got the big ones. You can get the multi-packs, which you get about like 50 in a pack, and they tend to have about some medium ones, some bigger ones, some smaller ones. Those are really good because it's automatically going to give you a variety of sizes. I also go for the smaller ones, so you can see here that we actually have some really small ones. So these ones here, you can see are like dinky ones. Now they're really good if you have a tiny gap that you want filling, but it's not really going to fit like a normal size bauble. They're really good for filling the space. I think that's everything. Most of my baubles, to be honest, I bought in the multi-packs. The biggest packs I got, if you want to buy sort of multi-packs, which are obviously more cost effective, then B&M is the best place I found for especially rose gold, but they did also have gold ones, silver ones. They did have an aisle section for sort of red bits, but I didn't see a multi-pack of like the red baubles, to be honest, but I wasn't looking, so they might do. But yeah, multi-packs, which are the most cost effective, definitely go to B&M. But yeah, I think that's everything. Like I said, guys, if I have forgot something, please do let me know. If I forgot to say where something's from, or if I forgot to link something, or if I forgot to tell you how I attach anything. Just for reference, we don't actually have any lights on here. I've left it without lights on, but you could feed some lights through if you wanted to attach lights to it as well. I haven't, but they would look nice if you wanted to. So yeah, that is everything. I'm just going to kind of go up close so you guys can see it all a bit more up close and personal. But otherwise, I'll catch you guys next time, and the next video will probably be going through my main Christmas tree, which actually isn't in the living room, it's in my office. As you can see, there's probably no place for it in this living room, so it's in my office room, and I will go through basically where everything's from on that and the process that I did to make the look that I have. Alright guys, I'll catch you next time. I'll just show you guys up close. Thanks for watching. Bye!